Hey everybody, my name is Damon Moore and welcome to FinancialAudacity.com. In our last session, we talked about how to tackle big debt. In this session, we're going to get right into it. The first way to tackle that big debt is you have to know who and what you owe. And one of the easier ways to find out who and what you owe is by going to annualcreditreport.com. Every year you could get 2 or 3 free credit reports without having to pay. The one thing is that you won't see your score, but you will see who you owe and the amount by which you owe. And so the first thing is you have to know who you owe. By looking at who you owe, you have a clear conscience that this is the person or group that you're responsible to with the debt that you owe. Secondly, how much do I owe? This is going to play really key in the continued strategies. How much do I owe? Knowing how much you owe sets the course of moving towards progression to actually canceling the debt. When I had $52,000 worth of debt just over a decade ago, I feared knowing who I owed until they started calling me and telling me how much I owed. But then I started getting proactive and I began to write down a list of who I owed. And it did several things to me. It brought me almost into a reality check of, hey, Damon, you owe $52,489.62 worth of debt. Before I didn't know that, I just knew that I had about $8,000. Boy, was I surprised when I found out how much I actually owed. So it's important to know who you owe and how much you owe. Now let me tell you the way to write them down. Once you know who you owe and how much you owe, I want you to create your list in a descending order, starting out with the largest amount first. If you owe $5,000 on let's say, a Visa card. If you owe $3,000 in student loans with Sallie Mae. If you owe $75 with a medical bill, go from your Visa card to your student loans to your medical bills. Then I want you to have how much are they charging you in interest. So we're going to have 3 categories. Who you owe, what you owe, and the percentage by which of interest they are charging you. So if your mortgage is 7.5%, you write X bank for X amount at 7%. And all of these things are going to play key in tackling the debt. Because furthermore, in our next sessions, we're going to talk about the strategy by which we use the list that we created with who we owe, what we owe, and the percentage to tackle that debt more aggressively.